Been called to order.
Yeah.
First item is roll call.
Alderman Arnold.
Here.
Alderman Coleman.
Here.
Alderman Bamman.
Here.
Alderman Headley.
Here.
Alderman Totten. Here. Alderman West. McCorm.
Next item is invocation, to be led by Wayne Geiger, First Baptist Church of Grand Valley, followed by Pledge of Allegiance from Alderman Arnold.
We bow. Father, we thank you for this time that we have together. We thank you for your great love. And we thank you for the changing of the seasons. We thank you for the cold and the hot. We ask your forgiveness when we complain about both. But through it all, we learn resiliency, and we learn how to stand tough in trying times. We recognize the seasons in the year. We recognize the seasons in our life. And we thank you through it all. God, we thank you for this great city we have. We ask for your protection and your providence. We ask, Lord, that we would continue to keep our eyes upon you, that you continue to bless, or that we would be known as a city that cares about one another, that loves one another, and that makes a difference. Father, bless this meeting and our time together. May your wisdom just flow through all of this said and done. We pray in thy name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is approval of the agenda.
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
All right. See no changes. Move on to proclamations. We have one tonight for volunteers in police service. That's fine. If they want to all come forward.
Whereas the Volunteers in Police Service (VIPS) program was established by the Grand Valley Police Department in 2010, and whereas selected citizens have successfully completed and fulfilled the requirements for the VIPS program, and whereas during 2017, members of the VIPS donated 1,510 hours of service to the Grand Valley Police Department, performing a wide variety of services, including crowd control, traffic control, safety education, administrative duties, and support of police function. And whereas the hours volunteered by VIPS supplemented various duties that would have otherwise been performed by police officers or police administrative personnel. And whereas as a result of dedicated efforts of the Grand Valley VIPS in 2017, their hours of service to the community saved the city of Grand Valley an estimated $27,000 in costs that would normally have been performed by paid police personnel. This allows police personnel to perform other tasks and duties which contributes to the efficiency of the department and increased safety for the community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City of Grand Valley Board of Aldermen and I, Mayor Mike Todd, acknowledge and appreciate the service and commitment of the volunteers and police services for the city, and wish them continued success in their future endeavors. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand to cause the seal of the city to be affixed this 12th day of February 2018 in the City of Grand Valley, Missouri.
All right.
Have you guys all kind of...
I want to catch up with you.
I just want to say I appreciate everything you guys do for the city. It means a tremendous amount. I'm really proud to be standing next to this guy right here. A great guy, along with all the services you guys provide. A personal friend of mine. So thank you for all of you and what you guys do. And I hope that you continue to be able to do it. Let me know if you're ever smile.
Now, is this going to be on the front page?
Well, I don't know. I'll try.
We need this on the front page of these banners.
I'll get on it.
You saw my phone? Would you please call me? I got a new phone. I don't think I have it. I just wanted to say,
I'm trying.
Oh. Next item is citizen participation. We ask the citizens come forward to the podium and microphone to address the board. Please give your name and address for the record. Have anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
We accept the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Alderman West to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Alderman Coleman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Next up is previous business. Under previous business, we have 2017, 2018 occupational license discussion.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, I'm going to have Teresa provide an update to the status. I think if you recall, a month or so ago, she brought an update as to the businesses that had complied, and she has good news related to that, so I'll turn it over to her.
When we last talked about this, we had 3 storefront businesses in Green Valley who had not renewed their license. And I'm happy to report, as of last Thursday, through some non-traditional methods. So normally we send letters, we email, I make phone calls, and we do certified letters, and those things weren't working, and so we tried some other avenues, and by Thursday had the last 3 renewed. So everyone that we're aware of is in compliance, and there's no further action from the board needed.
All right.
Just for further clarification, the unorthodox approach did not include steel bars or kneecaps. There's just a face-to-face visit. Great job to both Teresa and Ken for helping with that.
All right. Next item is new business. Seeing no new business, presentations, public hearings, or ordinances, we'll move on to resolutions.
This is resolution B 1809, resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement with the City of Independence, Missouri for utilization and ongoing maintenance of the Eastern Jackson County P25 radio system and related infrastructure.
I move that we accept the resolution number, R 1809 and make it, nothing? Okay.
All right. I have a motion from Alderman Totten to approve resolution R18-09. Do I have a second? Second, Alderman Arnold. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, this, as it says, is an agreement to use the network for our radio system for the police department. It was a budgeted item, and we've received the agreement. It's ready to be executed. I'll let Chief Starbuck answer any specific questions you may have.
Basically covers the cost of each individual agency that utilizes that system based on the number of radios that we have there being utilized in the tower system.
So Independence is digital also, because I know with my scanner, I can hear a lot of the others.
It's the agencies that do
Awesome.
not have a dispatch system. To them feeder system tower.
Okay,
Independence hosts that.
okay.
Do we have any additional questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
6-0, Mayor. This is bill number R18-10, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to renew an agreement with Jackson County Drug Task Force regarding assignment of Grand Valley police officer to the task force.
I move that we accept the resolution number R 18-10.
I have a motion from Alderman Totten to approve resolution R18-10. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Alderman Coleman. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, this resolution is for, as it says, the Jackson County Drug Task Force and the association that Green Valley has with that, in part, an officer that we assign to that task force. It's a regular agreement that we enter into with Jackson County. I'll let Chief Starbuck answer any questions that you may have.
Basically, there's no changes. The attorney that represents the task force on the task force board, he noted that it's been several years since the original document had been negotiated. And it needed a little bit of cleaning up and some updates, so it's basically the same contract, just updated with new name changes. And all the costs of our officer, his salary is all paid through Jackson County Road. So it's just an agreement with all the agencies.
Anyone have any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Take care, Mayor.
All right, next item is city attorney's report.
No report.
Next item is city administrator and staff reports.
We will start with Mr. Davies.
Mayor and Board, just real quick, it's that time of year again where we're kicking off spring baseball and softball. Our youth leagues registration opened up this past February 1 this month. So letting everybody know, and we're in full swing with that again. I think up to this first week we have almost 100 kids already registered, so we're pretty happy with that. Again, usually our biggest expense with our league programs are the uniforms that are purchased, and we currently have a request for bids out to HD Graphics here in town, as well as a couple other vendors that are outside of town, so we'll be waiting to see what those come in at and go from there.
Mr. Arroyo.
Just wanted to give you guys an update on our storms. I don't know if you really want to call it storms that we had over the weekend, but kind of the misting and freezing rain that we had. We had crews out for several shifts. We ended up using about 53 tons of salt and 375 gallons of calcium chloride. I also want to give you an update on the Eagles Parkway sidewalk project. If you've driven in front of the school, you might see some survey flags out there. That project is going to be starting here very shortly, so you'll start seeing some work done at the intersection of Kirby and 40. They'll be installing the pedestrian heads and the concrete pads for the pedestrian heads at the crosswalk. So just kind of want to give you an update on that.
With that sidewalk changes and so forth, are they gonna move the crosswalk that comes off of Oak Street down to Kirby, or?
When we spoke with the school, that was part of the idea once the sidewalk got completed, that crosswalk would be removed. It'll still be in operation during the construction, and the school may still have crossing guards even at the new intersection. But yes, that is intended to be removed once the project's completed.
Knowing those that park along there, that might be difficult to get them to make the trek a block away to make the crossing, as opposed to coming down and going straight across the street. So we'll just have to be watching. We don't have students going across there without any protection.
All right, Kathy Bowden.
I just wanted to let the board know, a couple months ago, we had mentioned we're trying to implement email billing. And in February, the forms went out to allow people to sign up for email billing if they want to receive their water bills by email. It's not mandatory. They can have it sent to them either by email or in the mail, so they have either option. But we had requests from customers wanting email billing, so that is hopefully up and functioning.
And Chief Starbuck.
I'm just gonna let you know, this Thursday and Friday, we will be doing a two-day sergeant promotion process. We have one open position, patrol sergeant. We have 5 officers that are qualified, and they will be put through a very arduous two-day sergeant assessment center for them to provide good tasks. We'll have a panel of 3 hours. Now, we will establish a promotion eligibility list. We'll have cutoff
Ozenbaugh.
Wanted to announce how the candidates came out for the upcoming election on the 3rd. So for the position of mayor, we'll have Michael Todd and James Hofstetter. For Ward 1, alderman will be Dale Arnold and J.C. Stratton. Alderman Ward 2 is Yolanda West, running unopposed. And Alderman Ward 3 is Bob Headley, also running unopposed. That's how your ballot will look.
And then the only thing that I have, Mayor and members of the board, there's been discussion between admin, Ken and I, and municipal court, including Mr. Cook, that to help clear the backlog of active outstanding warrants that we have, especially in light of Senate Bill 5 and some of the restrictions that it places, there's discussion about possibly making April a warrant amnesty month. So anybody that has an active warrant with certain requirements, obviously they can't come in for a felony homicide warrant and have amnesty, but if it's a minor traffic violation or something like that, we would set those, the court would set those guidelines, and they would offer to anyone that has the outstanding warrant, they could come into City Hall, into the court, and take care of the warrant without fear of being arrested. Several other communities have done that. It's helped clear a tremendous amount of backlogged warrants. So I just wanted to get an indication from the board. It's obviously this is a municipal court decision, and it falls underneath their authority, but they would like to have the support of a resolution from the Board of Aldermen for Amnesty Month in April. So, Mr. Mayor, I guess if you could just kind of go down and find out, go down the line and see if we would have support for a resolution. I can prepare that for the next meeting or the first one in March.
Would it just be for people coming forward, or are we talking if someone gets pulled over and they have one too, they're gonna be like, hey?
You have to come to City
Have
Hall.
to come to City Hall, okay.
Technically surrender on the warrant, but you would not be arrested.
Okay.
Does the fine still apply? Do the fines still apply?
Yes. And there's several different ways that we can handle it, which still has to be determined by Judge Jack and Prosecutor Cook, but some communities actually just have them come in and they will assign them a new court date, which clears the active warrant out of the system, and then they come to that next court date that's assigned. Other communities will let them just go ahead and pay the fines and fees and not have to show up to court to clear it out of the system. I think letting them just pay the fine and fees and not assigning a court date to it's probably a little more streamlined and the better way to go, but they would make that recommendation.
Okay. Alderman Hammond, okay. Alderman West?
Okay.
Alderman Headley? Alderman Coleman? Alderman Cotton?
How severe of a case, I mean, like battered
Probably
situation?
just,
Wouldn't be like domestic violence or anything like that, but typically it's going to be like a traffic citation or and I'm sure we can determine those guidelines and let the board know about that.
Okay. I'm with you.
Alderman Arnold?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, very good. That's all I need, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Next up is Board of Alderman reports and comments. Alderman Arnold?
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Totten?
Hope everybody has a good Valentine's Day coming up.
Better throw President's Day in there too.
Huh?
Better throw President's Day in there too.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna miss that.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, Mr. Totten had a young lady and a couple of little kids go into his room today, and they bought him a Valentine card saying chocolate. And I said, what are you doing? He said, Nancy, they're trying to win me over. But he's doing a lot better.
Okay, good here. Alderman Coleman?
Nothing to report.
Alderman Headley?
Just want to say thanks, Chief, for the answering all the persistent email I sent your way this last week and a half, and wanted to also ask, is there a possibility we could get the radar cart out there, or some, you know, just to measure the speed? Do we have that?
Our radar card is ancient and broken, and not used for a while. We shopped around trying to find one that has the most, effectiveness in the layout of our city.
Okay.
So, no, it's on our radar first.
The extra enforcement in the meantime, we talked, I appreciate that. And, then one other quick question, along the same topic, concerning some emails. Rick, I haven't approached you yet, but gonna send an email your way concerning, a request for a stop sign. I know there's all kinds of other stuff. We just went through the same thing with, something Mr. Arnold brought. I'm sure there's all sorts of rules and regs as to why not put a stop sign where it's being asked for, but, I want to at least get it to you so you can go back through the exercise. That's all I have.
Alderman West? All right. Alderman Bammon?
I have a couple of things, Mr. Mayor. First thing, it might be of interest to you all, and especially maybe to you, Ryan, is that the school district just recently completed a demographic study that makes some very interesting assertions on growth projections for the community based on a number of different economic indicators and a number of different factors that if you'd like to have a copy of that, I'd be happy to share that with you, and if you could maybe distribute it to whomever else might like to see it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Found it very, very interesting and very telling as far as what the school district's doing for their master planning and space needs and things like that. The other thing I wanted to share tonight is that there's been quite a groundswell in the community, largely focused at the school district regarding our out-of-district status for the metropolitan community colleges. And so I share that here just because in the event that the school board would vote as a board to have that go out on a ballot for the public to decide, there's the potential there if that would pass. I think it failed in 1999 when it was brought up last. But if it were to be brought forward and voted for, it's just another line item on those lists of levy items that we all look at from time to time and would have to consider. So. And then the last thing I was just curious about was, what is the city's strategy with regard to pothole repairs when the spring weather starts to come around? I don't know what that is.
There's a headache.
Basically, if, we do try to monitor for them ourselves, but if residents do see a pothole,
Okay.
847-6270. So just report it, try to get out there as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's, one thing that folks will notice is that during the winter months when they do pop up, it's typically impossible to do a hot patch, so we use cold patch, compress that in. That'll usually last till spring, and then anything that comes out or is problematic receives a complete hot patch in the spring and summertime.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I could add on to Alderman Bammon's information in reference to the school district on that, the levy for the in-district. I had a conversation with Mr. Banks, who is what used to be the president of Blue River today, and he indicated that there are two methods currently that can help that to be put onto the ballot. First one is exactly what Alderman Bammon has indicated, where the school district brings that to the public, but it is not a school district tax. It is a MCC tax that the school district has to bring it to the ballot. The second method is if there are enough signatures on a petition by the community, which then comes to the school board once again to add to the ballot, but it's a community-based system at that time where they force the school board to put that on the ballot. But there's a third one that is being looked at by the legislature, the state legislature, that will, if passed, allow MCC as a district to put that on the ballot themselves. And that's what, after hearing that part, that's what we would, as a school district, like to have happen. So there are some different methods to add to that Alderman Bannon probably didn't know about as of yet, because that was brand new information to me today as well.
All right. Next up is the mayor's report. I just want to say, first off, he's not listening to me. I don't know who all knows that Rick is a weatherman now also, trying to predict who we have on duty and who we call in and such. I know that a couple Sundays ago kind of caught us off guard because I don't know what weather channel we watched, but they were all wrong, so it doesn't matter. But that's what I appreciate, because I know we give you a hard time. I know you probably get sick from hearing about me, like, whatever. Yeah. I know my wife saw me too. She watches all of them, and I'm like, just stop. They don't all agree, and we don't have any special system they don't have to tell us when we need to get on the roads and not. So I appreciate that. I know. I think there was one morning I got like a text like 2 a.m. from you about it. So I appreciate that. I don't have anything else additional to add. We do have a need for an executive session.
For real estate, number 2, and personnel records, number 13.
Okay, for personnel records and real estate. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn an executive session then.
So moved.
Motion from Alderman Coleman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Cotton. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Alderman Arnold?
Yes.
Alderman Totten?
Yes.
Alderman Coleman?
Yes.
Alderman Headley? Alderman West?
Yes.
Alderman Bammon?
Yes.
All right, we'll adjourn the executive session.